How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is RUFFLEDLIVE, and today we're going to be taking a look at the full Pokedex of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet with all the leaked Pokemon and all the information to date, which will be August 12th when I'm recording this. Of course, on August 13th, there might be some other stuff added on Saturday and whatnot when this video is posted, but for now, this is what we have, okay? We have a massive list of all the Pokemon we know about, all the Pokemon that have been confirmed, their evolutions, stuff like that. All the leaks that we have are going to be covered in this video, including where the leaks were posted and stuff like that, and who said what, and everything will be kind of compiled into this one video. Of course, there will be missing details here or there. There are some aspects that may be a little bit out of date, but I still think it's worthwhile to go through it. So I will also say there is a massive post that's been made by two different people. So Sylph Spectre, first of all, Sylph made a post about all the returning Pokemon, right? So all the Pokemon that we know are returning, not counting, anything that's outside of that, just mainly the Pokemon that we know are returning and confirmed Pokemon so far. And he made a massive list, kind of breaking all that down. However, there's also a list made by Makio and J Roses, and this list is all the leaked Pokemon and all the information there. So I thought we'd start, first of all, with the post here by Sylph Spectre, which goes into more of the actual Pokemon that are returning, because there is a big old list of that right here. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. He says, alright, I've scoured every piece of official media regarding Scarlet and Violet, and there are 178 Pokemon confirmed to be in the game thus far. Please note, this assumes full evolutionary lines Pokemon feature will be included, and has always been the case. Will release list soon. He actually updated this to 181, where he included Sunkern, Sunflora, and Tauros, as those three have been overtly represented in images in the Paldea region, status and clothing and stuff like that, and have yet not been seen in the wild. They are marked by an asterisk on the list here, and the list is actually pretty extensive. It even includes the proportions to the current Paldea Dex, the three regions and gens, with the smallest shares of Pokemon are Alola 5.8%, Unova 7.9%, and Kalos 8.4%. The proportions to the generational totals, the three most underrepresented so far are Unova, which is 9.6%, Alola, as well as Hoenn at 17% right there. So this is basically the counts by region as to how many will actually show up, within this game. So let's take a look at the massive post right here, which goes into all this. So here we go, guys. So, first of all, the asterisk is that they're featured in the game with, some sort of clothing. And the National Dex Pokedex order is with the italics there. So, let's just put my cam on the side here so you guys can see what we're actually looking at in terms of the list right here. So, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We've got ourselves first. We got Pikachu, Raichu, Jigglypuff, Wigglytuff, Venonat, Venomoth. And, of course, if you guys want to pause and look through this, there you can do that too. But pretty much, as we go through them right here, we have Venonat, Venomoth, Meowth, Persian, Psyduck, Golduck, Growlithe, Arcanine, Slowpoke, Slowbro, Magnemite, Magneton, Shelter, Cloyster, Ghastly, Haunter, Gengar, Chansey, Scyther, Tauros, Magikarp, Gyarados, Eevee. Of course, all the evolutions. We got Dratini, its evolutionary line, Pichu, Igglytuff, Mareep, its evolutionary line as well, Meryl, Azumarill, Hoppip, Skiploom, Jumpluff, whatnot. Sunkern and Sunflora are a bit, they're asterisks, right, because we don't know about them. Wooper's regional form, which is the Paldean form, that is confirmed, as well as one evolution. Now, it's not going to be a Quagsire evolution, it's going to be a brand new evolution, but we'll see what that looks like. Got Espeon, Umbreon, of course, as well, Murkrow, Slowking, Misdreavus. Again, you can pause the video right here if you want to look through these, one by one. Of course, this is the less important part of the video, I would argue, because we're going through just the basic returning Pokemon. So, Misdreavus, Wobbuffet, Girafarig, Pineco, Fortress, Scizor, Houndour, Houndoom, Fanfi, Donphan, Blissey, Larvitar, Pupitar, Tyranitar, Wingull, Pelipper. You got Ralts, Corellia, Gardevoir, Slackoth, Makuhita, Azurill, Sableye, Cacnea, Swablu, Seviper, Wynot, Snorunt. You got Bagon, you've got Starly, you've got Shinx, you've got Combee, you've got Drifloon, you've got Mismagius and Honchkrow, the, cross-gen evolutions. Bronzor, Happiny is also here, Riolu, Hippopotas, Finneon, Magnezone, Leafeon, Glaceon, Gallade, Frostlass. You got Rotom, Petilil, you got Zorua, you got Deerling, you've got Tynamo, you've got also Cubchoo as well. You've got Cryogonal, Dano, as well as Fletchling. You've got Scatterbug in this case as well. Of course, Pavilion as well. Flabebe, Skiddo, Clauncher, Noibat, Sylveon is also included. We got Rockruff, of course, as well. Marini, Toxapex, Mudbray, Fomantis, Lurantis, Bounsweet. We also have, I think in this case, we have a few of the Gen 8 Pokemon. So we do have Squavit and Gredent as well. We got Choodle, Dreadnought, Roly-Poly, Carkle, Colossal, Applin, Flapple, which those are a bit undetermined just yet. These are not confirmed. And Appleton, Sinistea, Poltegeist, Hatini. We got Berserker, Pincurchin. We got Stonejourner, Ice-Cube, Cuffin, Copperage, Cleavor. So yeah, we do have a little bit of a quite a decent present of Gen 8 Pokemon presence-wise. Cleavor apparently as well. Then of course the brand new Pokemon, Sprigatito, Fuecoco, Quaxly, Palmy, Smolov, Lechonk, Fido, or Cititan, as well as Koraidon, Miraidon. So that's what we have so far, not including the evolutions of these, which are obviously going to be here as well. And that's what we're going to go into right now. So this is the returning list of Pokemon, right? If there is any missing here, you guys can always hit up Sylph Spectre. He put this list together, and as you guys can see, percentage-wise, there seems like the amount that are actually going to be returning the most, it seems like, of course, is going to be Gen 1, and oddly enough, and interestingly enough, is Gen 2, and that actually plays into my theory that Generation 2 is going to be getting a remake in this generation. A remake in form of a regular remake, like a kind of Let's Go style, very simple kind of remake, as well as a Legends-type game as well. I think that's going to be happening after the DLC next year, which I do think is going to be happening, as it's already been confirmed by the leakers somewhat that that's going to be the case. So that's quite interesting as well. Hoenn has got the, I guess, fourth highest presence, because you do have also Sinnoh with the higher presence of Pokemon, and Galar actually has more Pokemon in this game than even Unova, Kalos, Alola have, which is quite interesting. There's a higher percentage of you know, Galar Pokemon, interestingly enough. But I guess it makes sense. The most recent generation, it's close in proximity, so maybe that's the reason. None else, but nonetheless, sorry. Let's move on to the actual brand new Pokemon. So this is the list, and this is the website, and this was all put together by, of course, as I mentioned, Makio and J Roses. So this is their, like, massive website that goes into all these Pokemon. We're going to go through the full list. So this is going to be a long video. Sit back, relax, let's get started. So first things first, we have Sprigatito. We already know a lot of the information about Sprigatito from the official website. We know its ability possibly being Overgrow, or is Overgrow. It is a capricious, attention-seeking Pokemon, and it may sulk if it sees its trainer give attention to Pokemon other than itself. So it's a bit of a jealous Pokemon, to say the least. We've already seen also that what it looks like if it terrestrializes into a grass-type terrestrialization. But yeah, Sprigatito, nothing new to learn there. We then have Sprigatito's second stage. The only thing we know is that it's two-legged. So it's on two legs, and that's all the information we have right now. We don't know what it looks like. We don't know any further information. Then we have information on the third stage evolutions. And we don't really know if this is actually the third stage or if this is the second stage. It's been kind of confusing. But we do know that apparently its name in Japanese is Nyakasu, which in Japanese is a clown plus gentleman thief plus mask. It is two-legged, as far as we know, and has a god-tier hidden ability, which, hey, I'm on board for that, man. And also, we were given these hints by a few different people, as well as these drawings, to kind of accentuate what it could look like in terms of design. And of course, we've seen that they had the cats, as well as that pointing at a little, like, wizard wand or whatever, implying basically that this thing might have a bit of a wizard design to it. There has been a recent update, which hasn't been added here, I think, a recent update that included the fact that the second stage of it might be using some kind of yo-yo, which I don't know how that makes sense with like a magician, maybe like you know, kind of like a performer of some sorts, which then evolves into a magician. I guess that would make sense. Next up, we have, of course, Fuecoco. Now, Fuecoco, we've already seen also what it looks like with the terrestrialized fire form here in this case, and of course, we already know the general information about this Pokemon, and that it, you know, it's kind of a laid-back Pokemon, kind of lazy, and just does things at its own pace. And you know, in terms of its design, we know it's kind of got a pepper design, with, of course, its name referencing to Coco or Coca, which is, you know, kind of a boogeyman within, you know, like Latin-speaking countries. So here we go on to the next thing, which is Fuecoco 2. And this one says that fire-type-wise, we know that it's going to be a fire. We don't really know if it's going to be pure fire-type or if it's going to gain the ghost-typing, but it has an egg on his head like a hat, and it's two-legged. So we don't really know exactly, I mean, what the deal is with the egg. We were just told this recently, and here's what Zodiac, or I guess Rillaku says. If you're curious about the fire starter, the middle stage has a flame egg on its head. It also looks like a hat in the, you know, kind of a round, like, thingy hat. So that's kind of what we have with Fuecoco, that its middle stage evolution will have some kind of egg, and I'm guessing that the final stage evolution will actually have that egg cracking open, and there will be a literal, like, chicken on top of its head, which has already been hinted at before in terms of information. So here's where that actually comes into place, which is the final stage evolution of Fuecoco, where we know it's going to be a fire ghost type for sure. And that's something I forgot to mention, by the way, for the actual, you know, third stage here, which is that it's going to be a grass dark type for Sprigatito right there. But for Fuecoco, what we do know is that it's going to most likely have a fire phoenix on its head, a special move linked to singing. It's going to be four-legged, but can stand on two legs. So it is going to be on all fours, which is actually pretty cool in my opinion. But it can stand up on two legs if needed. And we do know also that it's going to have some sort of connection again to, like, some kind of chicken on its head. That's the biggest piece of info. Like some sort of flaming chicken, flaming phoenix on top of its head. How that's going to look like, bloody hell, I have no clue. But I'm curious to see what's going to turn out to. But yeah, a fire ghost type nonetheless. And then we move on to Quaxly, which we know is a more serious-looking Pokemon. And in terms of what we know about it, well, we have seen the image, of course, what it looks to a terrestrialized, water typing in this case. And in terms of what this Pokemon is going to evolve into, well, this is what we know so far. Its second stage, we only really know it's going to be two-legged, and that's the extent of all we know here. We don't know much else than this. We just know it's going to be on two legs, and that's pretty much the extent of our information. Then we know about the third stage of evolution. This is a drawing here. I'm sorry, I don't remember exactly who drew this. I covered this person in a previous video. I don't know if it's been linked here either, who drew this. Again, sorry. If you want to contact me, please hit me up on Discord, for credit. But at the end of the day, it's on this website. I'm just sharing what's on this website. So, at the end of the day, don't blame me. It's not up to me. All right, either way. So, we continue to the next thing, which is that we know for a fact that the water type in this case is going to be a water fighting type for Quaxly, and we do know this following information. It looks like one of Fate and Grand Order rulers. So, in terms of design, it's going to have like something like that to it, and it's going to be a Peacock plus Dancer. So, it is the one with the Dancer design to it, is what we've been told. This is also kind of accentuated yesterday as we got some images from, I think, Riddle that added more to this idea of that it's going to be some sort of Dancer Pokemon. So that's what we know about the starters. That's pretty much the starter information we've received so far. Next, we move on to Lechonk. With Lechonk, we know the following information, of course, which is that it's a big old piggy, but we do also know that it evolves into a second chonk, which is this image we've seen right here of a possible second chonk. And we just do not really know much about its, like Evo info here. We do know that evolution will have differences in, depending on gender, right? So evolution with gender differences, the shiny version is white, apparently. So the shiny version of Lechonk will be white, or the female version. I don't really know exactly what's confirmed here, but here's what they say. Zodiac, or I guess Riddle again. I keep saying Zodiac, but Riddle again says Lechonk's Evo, and yeah, shiny is white. So yeah, he confirms there that its shiny would be white rather than it being like some sort of other different color or anything like that. So yeah, that's what we know about Lechonk's evolution. Next, we have, I guess, whatever this Pokemon is in this case, which would be, its, third evolution, which we don't know if that even exists. Of course, we have Palmy as well, which we know little about, but we do know that it has a middle stage evolution and a final stage evolution. And the final stage evolution, we don't really have a lot of information on. There's a piece of artwork here, a really cool fan art, and we know that it's going to be an electric fighting type, has a new move with 1 PP, which brings an exhausted Pokemon back to life. So basically, it has a revive, and actually, we do have information here. The fan art is by Arc Courtsy Draws, so shout out to them, and the information we have here is that Palmy, then it has an evolution, and then final evolution, and that's pretty much that. We know it's a 3-stage Pokemon. Next, we have Smoliv, which we already know a lot of information about, that it's going to be a grass normal type in this case, and then we have that it's going to have a middle stage evolution, and its final stage evolution is going to be some kind of tree, an olive tree, and this fan art is by Rhyme Whitray, so shout out to Rhyme for this artwork. And also what we know is further is this information on here, which is this kind of connection to it being connected to this kind of arch, and that it's most likely going to be evolving into, an olive tree. What else information we have? We've covered it in previous videos, so if you want more context, I'd say go check those out for that information. Next, we have Fidough. Now, Fidough is a more recent Pokemon. We know it's a fairy type, and it is a moist, smooth-skinned, elastic Pokemon that is pretty much a piece of dough, okay? It's a literal, it's a little bread Pokemon. So what's the deal with it? Well, we know it's going to have a middle stage evolution. That, in this case, it's going to be also fairy type. And here's what we know. Fidough and its Evo Riddle, it's getting more delicious when it evolves, actually being, being toasted. Lol kidding. So I don't know if he's actually serious about that, but we do know that it's going to be getting an evolution. And then the final stage, we have no information about if there is a final stage in this case. Then we move on to the next thing, which is the pre-Cetitan. So the thing that evolves into Cetitan. So Cetitan and Icicle could be the same Pokemon, which we don't really have a confirmation on. We do know that there is an Icicle Pokemon, which is the one mentioned right here. But we're going to look at Cetitan first, which we already know about. It's an, Ice-type Pokemon being used by Grusha, the I guess new gym leader, the ice type gym leader, who is I don't really know exactly on the map. He's in the mountainous area, but nonetheless, we know Cetitan is in this case this, but we don't know if there's going to be a pre-evolution for it, and if they could be related to the Icicle Pokemon, which we've been told about in the past, which was a new ice type Pokemon that has 2 stages of evolution. And what do they look like? Well, they said icicles. Cetitan and Icicle could be the same Pokemon, but we don't really have a full concept of this. Riddler said the following: his description today is weird. Are we watching the same ice line. The other line that he mentioned is I also mentioned with my former tweets is also a little bit different, but that doesn't matter anyway. And then he says, come on, just say what ice line they are. So I don't really know if this is connected or what the deal is here, but I don't know, man. We'll have to wait and see if these two are connected in any sort of way. But that's pretty much that for the ice Pokemon. Then we have the dolphin Pokemon, which we have information following here. So its evolution as a surprise, it doesn't evolve. So that's a bit confusing. So no whale, no shark, yes, dolphin. And he says, Zodiac said the following, which is, well, again, Riddler. Well, seems that a lot of confusion here and there, but big surprise is when it evolves, it doesn't evolve. If you could get what I mean, you will know what the surprise in this line, what surprise this line has. And then the second image, which is the post for Dolphin 2, its evolution has a surprise, it doesn't evolve, has two different forms. One is bipedal and looks like a superhero, which is interesting. So yeah, we don't really know what the deal is here. I guess the fact that, like, I guess a dolphin could evolve but doesn't really evolve, it's still the same, it just, I guess, stands up instead. I guess that's the way you could say it. It basically would look the same, it would just be standing up like a human rather than you know, actually turning into something, you know, brand new. So that's that. Either way, next is a spider, new spider Pokemon, which is a new bug type. Evolutionary line of a spider teased in the first trailer with the stuff we saw. And of course, A-Drive asked him here, bug Pokemon, please. And, well, the Riddler said, one spider line from trailer 1 also teased in former code riddle. So he pretty much confirmed that case right there. And we know that it's going to have, I guess, in this case, an evolution as well. But that's pretty much what we know there. Then we have the new beetle Pokemon, a dung beetle, which is, yeah, in this case, it evolves once. We do know this following information is based on a dung beetle, and those are gross. So bug plus something else. We don't know if it's going to have any extra typing to it beyond, like, what we already know. But that's pretty much that for the dung beetle. Then we know about the bird Pokemon. Apparently, new bird Pokemon is going to be a flying electric type. They're all new Pokemon. Waterfowl, electricity, and chips. So this comes from a previous riddle we received. So, again, not much information beyond that. On that one, I mean, we've tried to look, I mean, there's really no information on its evolutions, but if it is the regional bird Pokemon, then it should have a total of, like, I guess 3 stages in this case, I think. Then we know there's a parakeet, so kind of a parrot, right? There's a parrot Pokemon, it doesn't evolve. I guess a bird, fowl, and parakeet could be the same Pokemon. We don't really know, so we don't really know if this one and this one, if these are all connected. Then we know that there's a flamingo Pokemon, which has already been shown in, like, one of the leaks. It's a flying fighting type Pokemon, and the flamingo is flying fighting. So that's pretty much all we know about that. Next, we have the pink hammer Pokemon. The pink hammer Pokemon, we know the following. The color of the Pokemon with the hammer is pink. 2 evolutionary stages, fair enough. We don't really know much else than that. It's going to be a fairy type, I guess, in this case, and have some sort of hammer to it. And beyond that, I mean, for its second stage evolution, there's no info for that either. We know there's a crab Pokemon of sorts. The crab is in, no evolution mentioned, and we don't know if the crab is any way related to, like, any of the other forms or regional variants or anything like that. We just don't really have much info besides it being a brand new crab. As for the frog, they are all new Pokemon. Please tell us more about the frog. It evolves, stands on 2 legs. That's the information we have about the frog. We've also been told recently that it might be a plasma frog, which I guess fits with the electric psychic typing in this case. I think that fits really well together. So an electric, psychic, plasma frog Pokemon, which sounds pretty crazy. Then we have a cicada Pokemon, possibly. I don't know really why there's like a grasshopper thing here. It's not a cicada, is it? That's grasshopper. But nonetheless, we don't really know much about this. It was just posted by one of the leakers, the Kaka leaker. It says, I don't remember the type exactly, but that's fair enough. Then we know that there is a pepper Pokemon. They are all new Pokemon. Pepper and Fireleaf could be the same Pokemon. We don't really know much about this one either. Again, it could be connected to any of the previous Pokemon we spoke about as well. And then there's a grass fire type Pokemon. So Pepper and Fireleaf could be the same Pokemon. So yeah, the Pepper and the grass fire one here could be a different one, but we do know there is a brand new grass fire type Pokemon. It's going to have that typing, where Riddler said, you're all looking forward to a grass fire type Pokemon. It did exist. Not Smoliv. Wait for your spoon. So yeah, pretty much confirming there is going to be one of those. Then there is a mouse Pokemon, which we don't know have a lot of context with this one. Just kind of not really a lot to say about that one. Then a possible ostrich Pokemon as well, which is going to be a psychic type. A psychic ostrich reminds me of Cleopatra. In hairstyle, it doesn't evolve. That's pretty much the information we received. And apparently, it's going to be a beauty guru type design. So Cleopatra-esque, kind of an ostrich. In terms of information, we haven't really received much. Apparently, it doesn't evolve, but I don't really know if it's going to have like 2 different versions of itself or like gender differences. Nonetheless, we move on to the dogs now. We already spoken about, of course, Fido, which is one of the dogs, but there are 2 more dogs. In this case, there is this other dog, which is a ghost type. We know one is fairy, one is ghost, and one is dark. There are so many dogs, monster, ghost dog. So this one, we pretty much have confirmed here is going to be one of the ghost ones. We know it has some sort of evolution, I guess a 3-stage evolution in this case. and the other dog has also one, and this one is going to be a dark type. Now we have the poison Terrastall. So there's this Terrastall Pokemon that's a poison type, but don't really know much information about it. We just know that it's going to be a poison type, and that's the extent of that. Then we have the Salt Pokemon, and I'm speeding up a little bit here, sorry, because I don't want this video to be overly long for you guys, but just want to get through the information that's worthwhile. Next, we have the Salt Pokemon, which has 2 evolutionary stages. The Poison Terrastall and Salt Pokemon could be the same, so that's just something we spoke about in our video yesterday. If you watched that one, we kind of spoke about the same exact piece of information, so I just wanted to add on top of that these two could be the same. We know there's some Pokemon based on some salts or something like that. Then we have the Coin Pokemon. Coin Pokemon that is a Ghost type and evolves into a Gold Ningen. In this case, that would be what we see right here. Coin Pokemon evolves into this Gold Ningen, I guess, and it connects to these previous ones we posted before, these previous like riddles that we've read about. So that's pretty much that. We know there's also a Sushi-based fish Pokemon that's going to be a Dragon Water type. They are all new Pokemon, a Dragon Sushi fish, which is going to be quite interesting. So this is a brand new Pokemon that's a Sushi-based Pokemon, which we're going to curiously see what that's going to turn into. We know there's a Fire Pokemon as well, and we know that this Fire Pokemon is going to be either a Fire Warrior, if you get one of the games, which is Scarlet. It's a version exclusive for the same. So basically, this Fire Pokemon can evolve into either one of these two, right? Either the Fire Warrior, which is a version exclusive for the same pre-evo. This image is a hint, exclusive in Scarlet. And then the other one is the Fire Blade Pokemon, which is the same pre-evo and is exclusive in Violet. So for one game, it's the Warrior. For the other game, it's the Blade. Pretty intriguing. Then we have a new Rock Pokemon. We don't really know much about this one beyond that, but that's pretty much all the info we have. It's just a new rock Pokemon, an engine Pokemon that possibly could have already been hinted. Also, the fan art here is by NotaLizard61454. And also, in terms of what we're seeing right here, it's basically what could be the engine that we see that has been confirmed to be a Pokemon. It says, say yo to our new Poison Steel boy. So, Poison Steel type Pokemon is this engine right here, and it could be looking like something like this, almost like a spider-esque design. And then we also know that it's going to get an evolution, and that's pretty much all we know about that. Then we know there's an Earthworm Pokemon. Now, this Earthworm could either be a brand new Pokemon, or it could be the regional fake of Diglett and Dugtrio. We don't really know just yet, but it is what it is. There's also a Kamen Rider-based Pokemon, a new Kamen Rider-inspired Pokemon. And then he basically posted saying, already mentioned it, but you all thought in the wrong way. Where somebody says, still no Kamen Rider-inspired bug-fighting Pokemon. It hurts. But he has said that, though, the typing is wrong here. So definitely don't really know what the typing is going to be for this one, but there is some sort of Kamen Rider-esque based Pokemon. And there's also a bike Pokemon. This is the normal form of Koraidon, which is the past, and Miraidon, the future version. So there is a bike Pokemon that's the present time version for the two legendaries that we'll be encountering probably in the DLC, most likely, based on the information we've received so far. We know it's going to have some sort of possible evolutions, but we don't really know. Then we have Mankey, which we already spoke about before. We have Mankey, and we have its, brand new cross-gen evolution, which is going to be the Primeape Evo, which is going to be a fighting ghost type, which is going to be quite interesting. We have also Ponyard, which is going to be getting a brand new, in this case, what it's receiving is an evolution that looks like one of these images, kind of like a samurai-esque armor type design to it. I mean, what that's going to look like, we'll have to wait and see. I don't really know if this is I think this is a cross-gen Evo, though. It's a cross-gen evolution rather than a Paradox form, which also leads us into the next Pokemon that's actually, also a cross-gen evolution in this case, possibly, which is the Dunsparce Evo. We know Dunsparce is going to get an evolution. Dunsparce's evolution doesn't change much. It's just a little bigger. It's normal type. So, yeah, we know that for a fact then. From that, we also know the Giraffe is going to get a new evolution. We've already seen that from some of the artworks and the leaks we've received. Lose typing, pure psychic now. And this artwork right here is from Subarashii. Shout out to my boy, by the way. So yeah, that's pretty much what we know right there. Then we have the Paldean Wooper, which we already know about. It's officially revealed. And now we also do know it's going to get a cross-gen evolution, which we have no idea what it's going to look like. Shout out to Zaku Andore, by the way, for this artwork. Shout out to them. And then we move on to the next thing, which is the Paldean Tauros. Now, we know that there are 3 different Paldean Tauros. We have one that's going to be a black-colored one, which is a fighting type. There are 3 different regional forms of Tauros. One is fighting type. Regarding regional forms, only Tauros and Wooper will receive it. It doesn't have an evolution, but it has 3 different shapes or forms. So that's pretty much what we know for that. And, of course, there's the hints for it in the past. But we know there's going to be a black one, a red one, and, of course, also a blue one, which we've talked about previously as well. Then there is the first, Paradox Pokemon that we're going to be receiving, which in this case is the, Among Us, I guess, I don't really know if this is, I guess, the future Among Us or the past Among Us. I don't remember for which game this is, but we have a Among Us right here, which is going to be one of the ones we're going to be receiving as well. Next, we have the Jigglypuff, which is, it's not a normal fairy type as the normal form, only names and appearance change, so that's that, I guess. We do know that there's a Jigglypuff, there's Among Us, and we also know that there is a Misdreavus as well, which is the number 200, N200 ancient form. So this was number 200, I guess, what they were hinting it with here with Kaka. Then we also have the, I guess, ancient, I guess, again, yeah, I guess that's the A. It's the ancient Volcarona, the ancient Jigglypuff, the ancient Misdreavus, and the ancient Volcarona in this case. There's going to be a future Volcarona and an ancient Volcarona, and he has both versions, basically. So yeah, two Pokemon got both counterparts in the two groups. Same, guess them or wait for the feed, for the fed. One of the Spoon infos teased one Pokemon which gets a counterpart, and actually it got both, but he just got spoiled one. Guess which this Shilmon is. One Gen 5 future counterpart. Adriab's gonna love it because it's a bug. But yeah, so I'm actually happy about this because Volcarona is one of my personal favorites. Then also possibly an Ancient Salamence. We don't actually know if this is confirmed. This is a bit of a iffy one. Then we also know that there's going to be a Generation 2 Pokemon is going to be in ancient form as well, and of course a ancient Suicune. Okay, this game is so this is unconfirmed, but his game data is present and it has been removed, probably saved for DLC. That's what we know about that. And then we know there's another ancient Pokemon possibly there, but we don't really know any context on that either. Then we have the future Pokemon, right? So your future Delibird, which is going to be ice flying in this case. Future Delibird is your future Santa. The answer wasn't really very clear to me there. Then the future Gallade, which future Gallade looks like a fusion between Gallade and Gardevoir. It's an archer design, which I'm curious to see what that's going to be like. A Hardcore Queen, is in the future group. You could guess which origin Pokemon this new Pokemon is based off of, because you got info from the telephone games. Distortion is everywhere. Hardcore Queen was spoiled because it was a combination from both Evos. I made a joke about that. So yeah, basically, it's going to be a combination between Gardevoir and, of course, Gallade into a archer, kind of a samurai-esque type archer design. Then we have future Hariyama, which we don't really have a lot of context for, future Volcarona, which we already spoke about, and future Tyranitar, which isn't confirmed yet. This one is a bit iffy as well. Then we know there's also a future Gen 2 Pokemon, which we have no context on, and future Virizion, which is an unconfirmed, but the game data is present, was present, and has been removed, probably saved for DLC as well. It's going to be exclusive to one game or the other, depending on which game you have. So that's the info we have on that. And then, of course, a possible other future form, leading us now to the regional fake. So the first regional fake we know is a regional fake that's going to be somewhat similar to, I guess, a pink eel, which is going to be a water type that looks kind of in style reminiscent to Diglett. Now, regional fakes and Paradox Pokemon, all these things are all different. The regional fakes are not really a specific thing. It's basically just how one Pokemon can look like another thing. The same way that if you technically look at it like, okay, in this kind of instance, you can have certain like mushrooms out in the wild, certain mushrooms that look, and I actually think there's an example of this, is this mushroom that looks like a cobra. It literally is adapted to look like a cobra to keep predators away from, like, you know, getting close to it, and it literally looks like a cobra, but it's just a mushroom, and that's how it's adapted to survive. And there are certain animals that will adapt and change the way they look to look like other, you know, creatures or even other predators in the wild, just so they can stay safe in the you know, in the environment. So here's what Zodiac said here. I guess in this case, correct eels not looks like just the same in this case. So I don't really know how to explain it, but yeah, they just, I guess, would look the same but are different Pokemon. They're not the same Pokemon. And yeah, it's going to be a pink eel. Then we know there's also a regional fake of Tentacool, possibly. A Gen 1 Pokemon crawling out of the water to the earth. A jelly ear mushroom, which is what we see right here, is basically what the new one will look like, possibly. So that's the information on that. Let's move on to the next thing, which in this case, I think is, I'm not really sure if we are now, I think we're now in the legendary section, right? So, we know that there's going to be another, I guess, like some sort of dragon, possibly, a new dragon ice Pokemon, maybe a pseudo-legendary. We don't really have a lot of context on this one, but yeah, if it's a pseudo-legendary, that would be similar to, like, Tyranitar, Dragonite, you know, Dragapult, etc. And this one would be a dragon. Of course, it has to be a dragon type if it's a pseudo. Usually, they always are, pretty much. Yeah, in this case, this one will be a dragon ice type. It's a new dragon, like-esque type Pokemon, and the only hints we got that for that was a dragon, an ice cube, and a bunch of snow, and yeah, snowman. So that's pretty much all the info we have on that. Moving on to the next thing, which is the quartet of legendary Pokemon. So we've already been told that apparently there will be these like legendary Pokemon now. There's going to be a quartet of them, so like four of them, right? Similar to how the last few generations have all had like 4 of these different Pokemon, sort of, right? Like if you think back, same thing with even, I guess, you know, if you go back into, I don't really know about Gen 8 though. Gen 8 kind of was missing that, but I guess if you go back, you'll see that, like, you know, there will always be like 4 of them or 3 of them in more recent times. The most best example, I guess, is Gen 5 with, like, you know, the 3, you know, like, I guess sub-legendaries, right? But then there was a 4th one added, an Amorous, whatever, added in Legends Arceus to complete the quartet, and now it's going to be another quartet with a Fire Dark type, and then I guess a Rock or Ground Dark type as well, and then adding on top of that is going to be an Ice Dark type, and of course also a Grass Dark type, and that pretty much ends off that. And then of course we already know that Koraidon, Miraidon, we already know what the deal is with them, we already know like what they're up to, we already know like their typings and all that, and there's not really much else to add. And ladies and gentlemen, that pretty much summarizes everything we had to say in this video. I don't think there's really been anything missed in the last update they posted. It's mostly this information which we already covered, so there's nothing we've really missed here, but that's pretty much all the Pokemon we know about so far. Again, shout out to Makio in this case for putting together this website. It's awesome. It's just great to see the community, you know, come together and put together this, like, these amazing things for us to, like, you know, be able to, you know, use as a resource. So yeah, shout out to them for the amazing work here. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the full Pokedex so far that we know of. This is, as of right now, as of me recording this on the 12th of August, is what we know. So ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it. Thank you all for watching. Shout out to the lads for putting this all together, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, and bye-bye.